Hello and welcome to our meeting for the F2 parents, the children that will be starting with us in September. It's Miss Bloor here. I'm Deputy Head and the Foundation Stage Leader. I'm hoping now that you recognise me and you know me. I think I've met everybody now. Obviously, we've got new families that are starting, and we've got our current families that their children will be moving from F1 into F2 in September that will be familiar with me. So I'm hoping that I've already said hi and had a bit of a chat with you during our transition sessions. So it has looked different again this year. It's been a little bit better than last year because we have actually managed to have a few sessions in school. We've had stay in play sessions and been able to offer lunch visits as well. And the children moving into full-time school last year didn't have that opportunity. So things are slowly getting back together. But in terms of this meeting, this would have been done in the school hall and you would have been invited in, and met the staff. And so it's still looking different. We're still doing some things virtually, but at least we have had those lunch visits and stay in play sessions for you to just try and remember and put for the new families a name to a face. So welcome. But I think the bonus of this actually is at least you will have this. This is recorded, isn't it? So we will be getting a link and you'll be able to keep looking back if there's things that haven't been, if you're thinking of things that you want answers to and you perhaps missed it, it might be in the presentation somewhere. So actually some good things, some benefits from doing things remotely. Okay, so we're very excited about September. We're starting to get things ready now. It's approaching the end of the half term, approaching the end of the year, and the teachers and the team are preparing the unit and getting the displays up. It's just a very busy time. There's a bit of a buzz. Obviously, we'll be saying goodbyes to some of our children that are going into year one, but also, so that's a bit sad, but we're also welcoming our new children in, so into full time. So yeah, so mixed emotions at the moment, but we're looking forward to September. Okay, so I think what I wanted to say was that working in partnership with parents is a real priority for me. COVID's presented quite a few barriers in terms of face-to-face contact with you. So I've really tried to think of ways that we can still maintain contact. In foundation stage, we have Tapestry, and that's been a very a useful medium, a very valuable medium for us to have contact with you and for you to see what your children are doing in school. New families, you'll be getting a link soon to that, and you'll find out a little bit more about that later on. We'll send some information to you about that. But it is a priority for us working with you. So much research has been done over the years about how children make progress and how their attainment is high. And one of the main things, communication and language, is a biggie as an indicator for how well children perform and how well what their prospects are like and how successful they are in their life, but also during school how the partnership is very strong and how that can support children in school. So this is just a slide about that, and I do really like it's a bit of a quote about parents guiding their children, which means that they have a really, really good advantage in speaking to you and meeting you all, and then the families that we already have at Farmelo. I know that you are very invested in your children and in their education, which is amazing. And we've had school reading books have gone out to F1 children, and already we've been pleased with the amount of work that you've been doing at home with them, the communication that's been in there for us. So we are really, really off to a good start. It mentions here though about different ways: reading, telling stories, rehearsing nursery rhymes, and just being there, supporting conversation and helping the children with communication, and taking them out for lovely days out. You know, that is all a huge part of child development. and the children that do that, you can just tell in school that their language and communication and confidence is where it should be, and sometimes accelerated. So so that's a bit of information about that. It says here as well about putting arms into their coat, so promoting a bit of independence there that helps with staff and management and organisation. So as I mentioned earlier, the teachers and teaching assistants are busily getting everything ready for September. We have got some changes to staff, and we've got changes to the environment as well. Because during lockdown, we at Farmelo had our children in separate bubbles. We had split the foundation stage children. So nursery F1 had their own bubble, and then we split the two F2 classes into two separate classes. So as they were known as, the Red Buses children stayed in the foundation unit in the reception classes area, and because we had a spare classroom, we moved the Green Train group that are now Willow class. We moved those out into a classroom, but all of the children are coming back together into the unit now, which I'm really excited about, particularly being the foundation stage leader. I'm really looking forward to getting everybody back, all of the staff, all of the team. We've got so many strengths as a team, but getting us all back together in the unit. So we'll have the foundation stage unit, which is a nice big area, and the outside area as well, which you've all seen, and we've got the new canopy like little classroom there as well. So that's in terms of the environment. We've got 44 children starting with us in September. We've got the highest number of new families joining us. We've got 16 new families coming. We have got a waiting list, so we have got a limit of 45 children. I think that place will definitely go, so I'm sure we'll be up to 45 in September. We're very, very popular school for lots of good reasons. So we are full now. So we've got those children. We've got two groups. The way we organise FS, we've got the F1 part-time children in, obviously in the morning session. We've just got a morning session, and then the reception children, F2, are in obviously all day, and they can have access to the whole of the unit, so they do come back into the F1 side. And I have been talking to the children about that today, my children, talking to the F1s that are going in and saying, no, you will be able to come back in, and you'll be able to go in the water and see Miss Bloor and see all the teachers. So I don't think they've really got their head around that yet, but because they haven't seen it as a full unit. But I think that will be quite beneficial to some of the children, that they can come back and they can access all of the areas. There's so much for them to be doing. So in F2 we split the children into two groups, because it's 44. It's a lot of children to have on the carpet in one go, and we've got two teacher groups. We call them the teacher input groups, and we've changed from Red Buses and Green Trains this year. We've got Willow and Hazel class. So we've got two teachers, two full-time teachers with a shared TA. And the Willow class teacher is Miss Brown, and the Hazel class teacher is Miss Welsh. But obviously I'm in there, I'm the leader, and I'll be overseeing everything. So the way it works, just for those two groups are just for registration time, and anything that we do on the carpet in terms of teaching inputs. For example, phonics writing, it says there, number and reading. But then after those input times, then all of the children are mixed back together, so they'll see their friends. They can access the unit and be together. And we do so many things together, as well as a whole F2, as a whole reception group, the 44 children. But it's just for those sessions. It's just much better if you've got a smaller group when you're doing your teaching. And also we want you to have a key person that you can contact if you have anything that you wish to communicate to us or speak to us about. So all of your children should know now that which group they're in. We've sent emails out and letters out, so you'll be introduced to those. We are going to put a little video on this presentation somewhere down the line of a little introduction to the staff that will be in, the teachers that will be in there, just in case you haven't had a chance to meet them. And it just says there as well, the outside area and forest schools there, the children are all together to access those. They won't be in their individual groups. So sometimes they'll be in their teaching input groups, and sometimes they will be all together. That's everything I would like to say for that. Okay, moving on. Okay, so staffing, as you know, hopefully by now, I'm Miss Bloor and the foundation leader and deputy head of the school as well, and F1 teacher. If your child is in the Hazel group, then your child's teacher is Miss Welsh. And if you are in the Willow group, then your child's teacher is Miss Brown. Some of you may know Miss Brown already. She's been with us for 4 or 5 years now, 5 years I think. And I think she's actually had some of your older children in her group. Miss Welsh is new to the school, which is lovely. I'm really excited for her to join the team in September. She's had her first year teaching, and she's with us now to continue with the rest of her career. Then we've got Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Lunn, as you know, some of you will know, was part-time teacher in FS for the old Red Busters class, as it was then. But she's staying with us for 1 day a week to do some cover, and Mrs. Robinson's also going to do some cover for us as well. We've got Effie, Miss Haywood, who's coming from year 3 and 4. She's going to be full-time teaching assistant in F2. She'll be shared between the Willow and Hazel group. And then we've got another new member of staff that we're looking forward to welcoming in September, Miss Johnson, Natalie Johnson, who is my F1 teaching assistant, but then because we haven't got an afternoon nursery session, she'll be supporting the children in F2. So we've got a really good team there, some new members of staff, some really experienced staff, lots of different strengths in there. Miss Brown's the Forest Schools leader for the school, Mrs. Lunn's the science leader and the maths leader, and we've got some very experienced early years teaching assistants as well. So I'm really looking forward to September, because we've got a strong staff. So that's who you mainly need to know about, who will be with your children in September.